It's the season debut of the Litter Media Game of the Week pregame show. With Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey, and there you see Coach Scott Bartholomew talking with his Cavaliers, getting ready to take on the St. Charles Cardinals, who will be coming to Chillicothe next, within less than 24 hours now.
Yeah. They'll be hitting, I think they said the bus would get here about 5:15 on Friday.
And then there's no stopping it.
Yeah.
Once it gets on a roll, next thing you know, it's midnight. So we've got high school football starting this week, and you can see the games scrolling across the top of our heads here of the local schools that are involved in week one.
Yeah, there is one game in the region that's being played tonight, Lucasville Valley in Portsmouth. But most everybody else is opening tomorrow night, which would be Friday.
Yeah, so if you're wondering about that, you'll find out a score tomorrow.
Well,
on the
probably
program here.
Tonight on Litter Twitter.
And that as well. Through the football season, through all the school seasons, Mike keeps us up to date with the scores on Litter Twitter. So if you are not a subscriber or follower to our Twitter page, you'll want to do that.
Yeah. Just remember to look for the X and not the little blue bird.
That's right. That's something different than what we have experienced in the last, that's been how old now? A month old maybe?
Yeah.
If that. So.
And then, of course, on Friday night, our scoreboard will go active for Friday night football on littermedia.com.
And as you happened to see just a moment ago, Litter Media Radio. We'll talk about that later in the program so you know how to find it and what it is. So details are coming up. But as we continue with the program, on the way next, we will meet the 4 team captains for the Chillicothe Cavaliers as they take on St. Charles tomorrow night at the Obadiah Harris, as you see right behind us, the Obadiah Harris Family Athletic Complex. Details on the program next.
At Country Clipper, pride runs deep. We take pride in knowing our mowers help create a space for families to make memories. That our features transform mowing into an enjoyable experience. Most importantly, we take pride in knowing the decision to purchase a Country Clipper will be one you can be proud of for years to come. Country Clipper zero-turn mowers.
You asked, we delivered. New Mike's Hard Lemonade Zero Sugar. Zero sugar. Amazing taste. Years in the making. Now that's a drink worthy of the name Mike.
At Rathkamp Financial, we act as your advocate in all wealth matters. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
At the O with 4 of the senior captains. They'll be swapping around throughout the season, but these are the 4 captains for the St. Charles contest. And let's have them introduce themselves to you, starting on the left.
I'm Elijah Hardesty.
My name's Caden Neblin.
Miles Lewis.
Mamo Willison.
It seems like yesterday you guys were little guys, little Cavs, and look at you.
Yeah,
Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, things have changed.
Actually,
Time
yeah.
flies.
What has it been like preparing for this season?
It's been tough for sure.
Go ahead.
I mean, every practice we've had to go 100%. Coaches will not expect anything less. Preparing for whatever might come at us.
Yeah, the effort's been really good. The leadership we've stepped up. Enthusiasm's been great. It's been a good year.
Yep, just the great intensity in practice, and I feel like it just helps us overall as a team preparing for the future. Game week 1.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I love how we have great teamwork, great attitude at all times, and we're pretty good at keeping the energy up every day. Ready for that first game.
Coming off of a playoff season, 7-4 last year.
Yeah.
Everybody has goals. What's goal number 1 for you this year?
we're just taking it one game at a time. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, obviously our end goal is, you got to beat Jackson, and then we gotta make it as far to the playoffs as possible, maybe even go state. But right now we're taking it one game at a time. We go 1-0 every week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every week,
just staying healthy as a team. Obviously, last year we had conflicts with not staying healthy last year, and I just feel like we got to stay healthy this year and staying in shape. Last week we weren't in the greatest shape, and Coach had us running on Monday, so I feel like we're doing better already.
Coach and I talked about having to do some running, so you got the conditioning up, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Conditioning's not an issue.
No,
this is going to be a home opener for you, your last home opener, but this is extra special. 10 years for the start of the O, and you have a chance to make some history. So what's it going to take to beat St. Charles?
Staying very well disciplined, always reading our keys at all times, and make sure that we're not looking at the backfield all the time, and we're staying focused.
Yep, as he said, just reading your keys, just doing your job is what you just need to do. Is just not worry about someone else, worry about yours. And always, like, when there's like bad times, you just got to pick up your team and not like yell at your other teammate and like tone them down. Just always keep them up and just stay positive throughout the game.
Yeah, we know how good we are and how good we can be, so now we just got to go out and execute.
Guys, good luck to you. Thanks for taking time out. Today was photo day. Don't they look pretty?
Yeah, always.
And jerseys as well, by the way. So congratulations on the start of a season and becoming seniors. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so there you have the 4 senior captains, and it should be an interesting start to the season, I think, for the Cavaliers.
Anytime you start a season, regardless of what sport you're playing, you're going to have the butterflies. Even if you've had scrimmages, when you get out there and the stands are full of people, it's just a different experience altogether. So,
heck, we have butterflies.
Sure.
And we've been doing this how many?
Too many years.
I was thinking, if I include my freshman year in high school, I believe this is year 43 or 44.
Yeah.
For me, maybe more.
Mm-hmm. Well, mine goes back to 19. If you count junior high, 1972 for me. So, a lot of people listening and watching weren't even born.
But records were kept.
That's right.
And we take a look at this contest. St. Charles and Chillicothe have met on the gridiron before, but only in scrimmage play. So this is the first time they have actually played one another on a game night for real. So we'll talk with Coach Scott Bartholomew, find out his words in just a few short moments. And also coming up in this program, we will have this week's Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. And it's already announced on our website. So if you go to our website, littermedia.com, just click on where it says Players of the Week, and boom, you'll see who the first is. We should probably say ladies first.
Why not?
We'll give it a teaser there. But we'll tell you who she is in just a matter of moments. But first, these words from our sponsors.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Visiting with Scott Bartholomew, head coach of the Chillicothe Cavaliers, getting ready for your second full season with the Cavs. What did you learn from season number 1? Cavs had a 7-4 year and made it to the playoffs.
I thought it was a really good year. I thought we didn't finish the way that we wanted to finish. The schedule got a little tougher at the end, and we had a couple injuries, and maybe we didn't respond to that as well as I'd like to do. And so one of the things we talk about in this preseason and the off season is the approach to those big games and how you go from week to week with them, and how important the playoffs are right now. One of the things that was different for me coming from where I'd been was the Jackson game was more important to the people than the playoff games. And I don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't think the Jackson game's important, because it is. But once you get past that game, it's a new season. It's a new year, and I don't know that we recognize that. We were still honestly in mourning on the next week in practice and on Monday. I mean, it was something that I was surprised that they weren't even excited that they were going to have a playoff game that week. They were still down in the dumps from losing the game the Friday before, and I understand that you're upset when you lose, but then when you get that next week to play in the playoffs, that should generate you a little bit. And I'm hoping that we can change our identity a little bit. We want that Jackson game to be very important, but we also want to know that the next week's a whole new season, and we can do new things and better things than we did last year.
I guess that's the toughest thing about having a rivalry game as the last game of the season. And, Jackson is one of those perennial playoff appearances, and so it's almost as if you had that playoff game, so to speak, and that might be the mindset you have to get over.
Yeah, it's something we got to work on. But if you remember right, there's another guy up north here. He's talking about doing these. He's witnessing the same thing when he plays the team up north. He and then have to maybe play him again that next week. Right off the bat and that type of thing. So those things are the emotions are big, they're high, and you got to learn how to recover from those. And those are things we just have to get better at.
One of the toughest things about high school is you graduate seniors, and then you got a new crop coming in. What's the adjustment been like for the kids this year during the off season?
I think probably the one thing that we tried to stress the most was to be accountable. That if you're playing basketball, that's great. You're playing basketball. If you're wrestling, you're wrestling. If you're baseball, do those things. That's no problem at all. But if you're not doing something, then you need to come in the weight room and get your workout in. We actually opened the weight room up at 6 o'clock every morning, because there are some of those athletes that want to play basketball and do their lifting, and want to play baseball and wrestle and all that and do their lifting. So we had probably 8 to 10 kids at 6 in the morning before school most of the time during the school year. And that's not something, it's voluntary. It's on them. If they want to come in, and give themselves an opportunity to get better, then that's fine. If they want to just go play their sport, then we're not forcing them to come into the weight room. So I think that adjustment, just understanding that we were putting a lot of emphasis on that if you want to be a member of this team, you need to do the off-season stuff if you're not doing anything else.
Commitment and accountability, they go hand in hand, and that's all a part of this character building thing that athletics does for a kid.
Absolutely. And you tell kids it's like right now, I'll be honest with you, it's been a great year. It's really, the kids are buying into what we're doing, because like yesterday we had one kid absent from practice. I knew where he was at. He texted me and let me know he was at, and they're letting me know. We have had, in the 2 weeks of two-a-days, maybe one kid, maybe two, that I didn't know where they were at when practice started. And if we missed them, our attendance has been outstanding. So that's the other thing. Kids are being accountable and showing up. And I think those are the things you want to teach them. You want to teach them, if you got a job, you got to show up. And if you're not going to show up, let your boss know what's going on, and so that you're responsible with what you're doing.
It's the little things.
Yes.
And those little things will matter come game time, right?
See, that's funny, because if any of our players are watching this, they are tired of me saying it's the little things. For example, yesterday, today's Tuesday, right? So yesterday, we ran a little bit. We ran a few sprints. Actually, we ran 11 of them. 100-yard sprints because on Friday we had 11 guys not make it on time. I said, we want to be here at 5:30, and at 5:30, after 5:30, there were 11 individuals that were after. So, and then a lot of them said, well, we thought you said, we thought, and that's what we were talking about, the little things, paying attention, being focused, because if you're not focused on what time you got to be there, you're not focused on whether the play is to the right or the left, or where am I at in the formation, or what pass route am I running. And so those are the things that we're getting better at, and we really are. And but the kids hear me say a lot, the little things matter. So that was funny.
And you do remember running 11 times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did. I actually gave them a deal about halfway through. I said, boys, we can stop right now, and then the rest of the year, if someone's late, we'll run 2 for every person that's late. No, let's just get them over with. I said, let's just get them over with.
People don't understand the structure of coaching and what you have to do. There is some mind control there.
There is.
But it's all part of the discipline.
It is. And you know what was really nice yesterday, and I had talked to a couple of my seniors before this incident happened, before the running started, and the kids handled it really well. They knew it was something that they did wasn't right, and I wasn't mad at them as far as like angry mad at them. I was going to show them that they need to be on time, but they ran, and when it was over, they were ready to go to practice, and I really appreciated that. And some of the seniors stepped up and made sure that happened.
For the number of times I've been late, I would tell you I would be in the best shape, having to run all those sprints.
I'm not one of those people. I'm usually the guy that's there a couple hours before I'm supposed to be.
Let's talk the schedule now. You jump in with St. Charles. You find yourself then following up with a couple more games. You've got Harvest Prep on the schedule, Westerville North. And these first 5 games are all non-conference for you.
Mm-hmm. And I think you look at, and part of the things you want to prepare for is our scrimmages this year. We added Portsmouth West with our first scrimmage and Jonathan Archer's second scrimmage. Both very good programs. Portsmouth West last year was 11-2. And had a really nice year. So the coaches do a nice job. And Jonathan Orr's been a really good program over the years. So you test yourself, you get a little better, you challenge yourself with those type of people to get you ready for these games. And so we're going to open up with St. Charles. Last year it was Tays Valley, and they moved on. I think they're playing Lancaster week 1. So St. Charles will be a good matchup for us. They're going to come in here. And then we go week 2, we'll go to London, get to go back there. And, I think one of the things there is we've got to play physical football. Last year in the playoff game, we did not match their physicality. And it showed, and, the effort's got to be there. Win, lose, or draw, the effort and the attitude to try to perform and compete has to be there. And I think we'll do a lot better job of that this year than we did in Game 11 last year.
And this will be the 3rd time you've played London in less than a year.
Yes.
Incredible.
And there's a chance it could be 4 before this, because they're in our region again. So we could play them again in the playoffs. You just never know. And then you go to Westerville North, whole new coaching staff, so we really – don't know what we're going to see there. And then Harvest Prep replaced Waverly, and so they're traditionally a good football program. They go in the playoffs. They're a smaller school, but they play with some big-time athletes, and so there'll be a challenge for us also. But it's an interesting first 4 games, and then we start with game 5s with Logan, another non-conference, but it's a team we've been playing. So. That's the start of the schedule, and it's
FAC the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's a really weird schedule because I think we go home, 2 away, home, and then the last 3's away or something like that.
Unless you make the playoffs and host a game, there's no home games after September.
Yes.
I've never seen that on the schedule before. So, and that's just how the FAC lays out.
Yeah, that's how the league, because of the
together.
way Jackson, the league made arrangements. Every school got to have a final game with what they wanted to be their rival or the team, and so Jackson's ours, and so everybody else rotates. Well, it just happened that the 2 games before Jackson happened to be away, and this year we're going to Jackson. So. Yep, it's just the way the league schedule worked out.
Now, of course, that's 10 weeks down the road.
Yep.
We got to get past week 1 first. Somewhat pleased with how the scrimmages went leading into St. Charles?
For what you want out of scrimmages, yes. We we need to become a little bit more consistent on offense. I thought defensively we played solid. I mean, we had some things that we need to work on and things like that, but that's what scrimmages are for. You know, you want to play a team that's going to challenge you and exploit some things maybe that you need to work on or adjust or do better. And so I felt that these two programs, they came in, and now they're both running teams, which, I feel like a strength of our returning would probably be our skill guys. And but they just lined up and came at us, and I thought we handled it pretty well. Now, with that, then, how are we going to play the pass? We'll be fine. We had 7-on-7s all summer, so you get some of that practice in and 7-on-7s and stuff. So it was good to have someone just line up and try to run at us.
It all starts up front, but you also have to have a commander on the field. And right now, that is still a battle for the quarterback position.
Yeah, we have two kids that are just doing a good job. Caden Evelyn did an outstanding job last year coming in, competing for the job. And when we needed him to go in the game, he went in the game and did a great job coming into this season. I felt like Caden was probably a notch above anybody else. But what I will say is Juan Miller came in, and he's really had a good offseason, or preseason, I should say, and done a nice job. But Caden's still doing a great job, and I'm hoping that we just, the competition will just help both of them get better. Mm-hmm. Before we get to the trenches, I'll explain this senior class. We have 12. We have one's a kicker, and the other 11 were skilled positions up until recently. And we've moved 2 of them to a line to try to find a mature body to play up on the offensive line or defensive line, because this class has no true offensive lineman or defensive lineman in it. It's all skilled people. And so, but you're right. We got a real nice group of juniors that's being able to put some guys on the offensive line. Wesley Scott's one of the seniors that we converted from like a tight end to a tackle. And so he's going to get an opportunity there. And then defensively, Daniel Sissom came back out this year, and he's going to be a big asset. And he'll play the defensive front with Cole Crawford. And I think we have a couple other seniors that will probably hold up there at the end with Butler and Hardesty, with Anthony Smith doing a real nice job in the scrimmages. So, we've got some kids, I think, that have stepped up and challenged each other, and that's only going to make us better as we go along.
Skill position-wise, then you should feel pretty healthy.
We're fast, and we catch the ball pretty well. We're still trying to figure out some little things, and they're really pretty good blockers also. So you have Miles Lewis is returning, as a starter, and then you have he's going to split time with Lucas Reinhardt, because they'll both play defense, and then they'll share time on offense. Cullen Butler's going to play an H-back, which he's pretty versatile. So he's also going to, along with receiving the ball, he's going to be one of our main blockers and motion guys. So that's real nice. And then Lucas Sprague is a senior, going to play at one of the wideouts, and Jeremy Kane, another young man who didn't play last year, that's going to help us at the other side, a sophomore. And then you have guys like Juan Miller, who's going to play defensive back, and Mama Willison's going to play defensive back. And so those guys are, they don't have to. We got chances to get guys off the field and talk to them when it's not their side of the ball. So it doesn't mean that Mama won't play wide receiver or Juan won't play wide receiver, but we're trying to get a lot of guys on the field so that, number one, conditioning helps us, and then number two, we can make adjustments and coach them while they're off the field.
Of course, you want to run the ball too. We've not talked about the running backs.
You've got a nice group of running backs. You start with the seniors. You have Oscar Morgan. Now, Oscar's going to focus mostly on linebacker, but when we need Oscar to run the ball, he'll jump right in there, and he does a good job. He'll tell you he's not the guy that's going to outrun anybody, but Oscar moves side to side really quickly, and he gets positive yards. He's a chain mover, and that's a really nice thing to have in your program. And the junior is Sean Smith, and Sean played defensive back last year as a sophomore, and we just felt like it was too much to put on him, try to play both positions. Plus we had Max, and Oscar. And so, but at the end of the season, I don't know if people remember, we played and we started Sean in the London game, and I think he had 14 carries for 118 yards or something like that, or 18 for 114, somewhere in that ballpark. He had over 100 yards rushing, and so he has that big play ability, and so that's nice to have. And then we have a sophomore, Tyler Speakman, who's also done a nice job and really quick. He's a smaller kid, but he's really quick and hard to bring down and hits the hole really hard.
You mentioned one of your seniors as a kicker, and first time in a couple of years we've not had the Cibberell kid to lean on, you know? So
we have Deacon Crawford. He is also a soccer player also, but you know, Deacon's a great kid. He's a lot of fun, and he's going to do a nice job for us. His kickoffs are consistently inside the 10 and high, and I think he can probably 40-yarders within his range without a doubt.
Very nice. Because if you could get the accuracy and you get inside the 35, you know you're going to come away with some points.
Coming away with points is so important in that situation. You know, back when I played, you got down there and most of the time you didn't even have a kicker, or no one even tried to kick field goals because you weren't consistent enough at it. And
didn't I see somebody like you kick a time or two?
Yeah, and it didn't always go straight. You know, that was one of those square-toed things, you know, and so it wasn't consistent enough to use all the time.
Oh, right. He wasn't a Luke Rosa.
Yeah, where like with Deacon, he's pretty consistent, and then that's the thing. So if you get down inside the 20-yard line, I think, you know, you got a good chance of coming away with points. You don't have to take that chance and go for it. You can put the points on the board and play defense again.
One of the things that helps structure is consistency, and you've not had much change in your coaching staff from last year.
No, it's nice, and there's a lot of success in that room. You know, if you look and you look around, you want to talk league championships or playoff wins or undefeated seasons. There's a lot of experience in that room with these assistant coaches, and the one thing that I like is that they treat our kids like human beings. It's a lot of fun. Our kids enjoy going to practice. Now, I'm not going to tell you our kids don't get yelled at, because they do, and probably by me more than anybody. But the coaches, they do a good job coaching. You know what I mean? And they build relationships with the kids, and I think that the kids know that the coaches generally care about them as human beings, and that helps make things better. You know, so it's a lot of fun. And we have a couple young guys we throw in there. It's Anthony Wagner and Alex Groh and Eddie Johnson. We throw those young guys in there, and we give them all the duties that us old guys don't want anymore.
and those guys would appreciate being called young guys, because I know they've been around for 4 or 5 years at least.
Yes,
so.
Yeah, very much so. Well, we added this year. We added Jeff Miller. He came over he was the defensive coordinator at Zane Trace last year, and Dale Oney, who coached the defensive line at Zane Trace. When they made the coaching change, they took the opportunity to come over here, and I wasn't going to turn them away. And we also had Teatron Betts, who's done a great job of just communicating with the kids and helping out and organizing things. And so it's a good group. You know, it's there's 11 of us in that office, and most of the nights, I want to say all the nights, when we leave, we're leaving with smiles on our faces because we're in there laughing and telling stories and getting on each other. And so I think that's something also that the kids see.
Yeah.
You know, probably most of the yelling that happens in practice is one of the coaches getting on another coach, being sarcastic with him about the way he's doing something or whatever. And our kids just take it in stride because they know how well our coaches like each other. They know it's not serious, you know what I'm saying? So it is fun, and it's a good group.
Yeah. Good to have you in studio, but also good to have that as well, because it builds a cohesive unit, and that's what we're looking for. Family, as they always say. Yeah. Who doesn't have a gripe with their brother, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, if you can sit in a room and not argue with Coach Seymour, you don't belong in the room, because he'll just eat you alive if you don't give it back to him.
That's right. That's right. You got to learn to defend yourself. Well, Scott, good luck to you. And, of course, Chillicothe and St. Charles will be our Litter Media Game of the Week. We'll have video of that for you. But also, the launching of Litter Media Radio. So Mike Smith and Tom Beard will be on site for this event at the O.
That's good to hear. It's Mike's. I grew up in coaching with Mike at because he had SVC games, and it was always good to listen to him. And I didn't have the opportunity to listen to you, because you were always doing the Chillicothe games. But I enjoyed it, so I'm excited to hear him back in there calling the games again.
Good to have him as well. Thank you for coming in today, and good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Dan.
Chillicothe, St. Charles, 7 o'clock this Friday night at the Obadiah Harris Family Athletic Complex. Coming up, more of the show in just a moment.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
At Rathkamp Financial, we offer customized investment solutions and superior client service. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
I'll say hi to a lot of the folks who have been watching the program here today. Coach Bill Dennis.
Hey, Bill. I should say coach. He was my coach in high school. Talk about somebody old.
Bill Dennis is the Cavaliers head coach from all those years ago.
Yeah, but he was he was an assistant coach at Adena.
Was he really?
When I was playing ball. Yes, sir.
Bill Dennis?
Bill Dennis.
No.
Oh, I thought you said Bill Davidson.
You're
I'm
thinking
sorry.
Bill Davidson.
Yeah. Sorry, Coach Bill. Wrong Bill.
Wrong Bill.
We'll get Bill Davidson on here, too, eventually.
Yes, because he's helping with the Huntington Huntsmen.
That's correct.
So
that's correct.
Happy to hear that with Coach Bill Davidson. But Bill Dennis watching as well.
I saw Bill on the beach down in North Carolina one year. Remember that,
Yeah.
Coach?
Bumping into each other. Did you call him Davidson?
I said, what are you doing down here? Same thing you're doing here.
But April Harrison watching, along with Joy Urig, Victoria Eblin, Tyler Callahan, also Brett Reisel, Connor Kitt, also, or Kent, I should say, Jeff Riley, James Thomas, who was on that first Chillicothe playoff football team, Shane Bush, also Michael Conley, Jenny Bennett, Derek Milliken, who is another Cavalier, Tyler Avery, Barb Featheroff, Barb Smallwood, Jason Jones, who's a coach on the Cavalier staff right now, Joe Pfeiffer, Justin Eblin, old Goober, and Laura Houseworth. So thank you.
Lara,
So many people checking out our program today. We appreciate that, and our advertisers appreciate that too.
Absolutely.
Chillicothe will be playing St. Charles, hosting the St. Charles Cardinals, and give you an opportunity to see who their head coach is, and that is Coach Deke Hawker.
Yeah, this is year 6 for Coach Hawker with the Cardinals. They were 4-6 last year. Several injuries were very key in that sub-500 record. They were 2-7 though the year before, so they've made big advancements in each of those 2 years. Cardinals did lose a couple of key components to last year's team. Pete DeSocio, who rushed for 700-plus yards and 11 touchdowns in only 7 games because of an injury. He had special mention all-district honors for D2. Mason O'Reilly graduated from last year. He had 697 yards and 7 TDs. And also on defense, 75 tackles, including 6 for loss. Second team all-district for him. And the University of Pitt recruit. So that's what they lost, along with the 6'5", 310-pounder Ryan Coretta. So here's what's coming back. Defensive back Colin Greenidge, he was an all-district kid last year, 80 tackles, 6 for loss, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 3 interceptions, and 7 pass breakups. Senior wide receiver Will Bratt returns from an honorable mention all-district honor, 39 catches, 423 yards. Their quarterback returns, Ryan Mooney. He was just a sophomore in his first year as quarterback last year, and he'll be back. Senior Ebram Igwebuk is a 2A lineman. Defensive lineman Sirius Klein also back. So is defensive backs Aiden Fox, who had 4 picks last year. Garrett Hoffman had 3 picks, 6 pass breakups, and linebacker Landon Beverly, all expected to play key roles for the Cardinals as they return this year. Now, a lot of our information came from a Columbus Dispatch article. At the conclusion of last season, there were 3 individuals that were listed in that article that were supposed to be key components to their return, but I've not seen them on their roster. So they're either transfers to elsewhere or just didn't play this year.
Now, you will be teaming with Tom Beard to do the play-by-play of this contest. It'll be on Litter Media Radio, and we've had kind of a soft opening with Litter Media Radio this week, just playing some of the interviews and things that we have done here on Litter Media Live. But come tomorrow night, which we have yet to test it. If something happens, by the way, we will have the audio over on Facebook Live. So for those of you watching on Facebook, you know this will be our backup plan. But the intent is to go to our website, littermedia.com. There will be a link in which you'll be able to see Litter Media Radio. If you click that, it'll take you right to where you can listen on the internet, on your smartphone. I will tell you that we use Live 365, and if you go to live365.com, you can download an app, and you can not listen to just Litter Media Radio, but you can check out all kinds of radio stations that are on the internet, that are internet-based radio stations, which is what we will have for you as well. So excited to see this up and running.
Well, I know when I came on board a few years back, that's something that you and Matt Litter said eventually they wanted to get to, and you got to take strides when you're ready for that stride.
Yeah.
And this was the next step in that growth pattern.
And with everything, we're still learning and still growing, so to speak. So we've got those growing pains we'll have to go through. It's not going to be perfect the first night. I just know it's
probably
not
well. If Tom and I are involved, I guarantee it will not be perfect.
Now, Tom's not done football for quite some time, has he?
Well, I think he filled in on a number of occasions. We were talking about Justin Eblin watching in. Justin took over the play-by-play duties from me for 3 years, and I switched over to the scoreboard show. I think Tom might have filled in for B.J. Daly on a few occasions, but I remember the year that one of our play-by-play guys was running for Board of Education, Greg Bigham. And we couldn't let him on the air because of the equal time rule at that time. And so I did the scoreboard show. BJ and Tom did the play-by-play. That's when Chad Lytle and Scott Keller were stars at Huntington that year. So it's been a while since he's done some color. If something happens to me, he may be forced into play-by-play.
Now, I will be involved with the post-game interviews, that sort of thing. So after 35 seasons of Cavalier football and being in the booth, I'll be on the field for the first time on a regular basis. And so this will be interesting to see how things play out.
I think I had to fill in for you on a couple of basketball games.
One in particular.
One was Logan.
Logan and Chillicothe basketball. I think it's the only one, isn't it?
I think I had another one I had to fill in for you. I don't know where you were even that night.
That night in particular, I was down in Florida because Mom was having heart surgery. So that was why I had missed that one.
He just wanted to go to Florida.
No.
Now I'm doing the Florida thing.
Didn't get to see much of Mom because she was in the hospital bed at that time. So, all right, and was out of her senses, so to speak, because she was under,
sedation and all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, just ahead, our player of the week We are starting a Players of the Week program that will turn into a Player of the Year award as well. Details about that coming up in our next segment here on the Litter Media Game of the Week pregame show.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
All right, Players of the Week. We have searched and we came up with a sponsor who wanted to be the title sponsor of this particular award, and it is the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. And this week is a golfer.
Yeah. Of course, this time of year, about the only thing going on is golf and soccer until football and everybody else gets involved. But Circleville's golfer, Elena Seeley, she has been out of this world in the first few weeks of this golf season. She shot a program record 69 at the Fairfield Union Invitational earlier this month, which shattered the 18-hole girls program record at Circleville, and that included a 30 on the back nine. She was also a medal runner-up to a girl from John Glenn who shot a 68 that day. So that is some real tall company. Since then, I think she's had medalist rounds of 72 and 73. But Elena Seeley leading a very good Circleville girls golf team here in the early going this season.
Congratulations. And what we will do is we will announce these on a regular basis here on this program. And when it's not football season and we're in between seasons, so to speak, we will have for you during our Thursday program, our regular daily show. But those names are available also on our website. So if you go to our website, littermedia.com, you'll be able to find out how to nominate a player and to tell us more about them as well. So when you do nominate someone, if you've got a photo you can include, give us the source of where that photo came from also. I want to make sure we give proper credit where it's due. But also some statistics, you can throw those in as well.
Exactly.
But you can make those nominations on our website, littermedia.com. All right, the first show is in the books.
Okay.
And we are back at it again tomorrow night. We'll be at the Obadiah Harris Family Athletic Complex, which you see in the background there. Isn't it beautiful? Mm-hmm. I've called that place home for a number of years.
I need to get a reserved parking space somewhere in there.
Yeah, by the way, when Mike pulls in tomorrow, don't try to get him to pay for parking.
Yeah.
It ain't going to work.
It ain't going to happen.
But our Litter Media Game of the Week, St. Charles at Chillicothe. And again, debuting with Litter Media Radio here on Litter Media Live. Hey, Malik London checking in.
Hey.
Harlem Globetrotter Malik London. Thank
deal.
you for watching. We need to catch up with Malik and have him on the show one of these days. All right, that's it for the program. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday and the first week of high school football. Good luck to all of our area teams. For Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey. Thanks for watching.